watching News 12, serving Westchester and the Hudson Valley.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on Weekend Daytime. I'm Matt Sampson. Well, Westchester has bred some amazing talents in the field of musical arts. We're talking Ella Fitzgerald, Don McLean, Wynton Marsalis, Mary J. Blige. Now there's a new name that could soon be on that list. We welcome Jessica Lynn from Yorktown. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, what's going to put you on the list? Do you play the tuba? What's your feel?
No tuba, but I'm a singer-songwriter, and I sing and I play guitar, piano, and drums.
Now, there's a lot of people out there who, can say they're starting and struggling in this field, but you're kind of at a breakthrough point right now. You have an event coming up where it's going to be shot for television.
Yes. I've been doing this a long time. I started playing professionally when I was 14, but recently I kind of went back to my roots, and I've always loved country music, and I grew up listening to it. So I started writing all new country pop stuff in the last year and a half or so, and now we're shooting a television special at the Winery in St. George.
Yeah, the Winery. The Winery. We'll talk more, but it's an old church right on Route 6.
Yes, it's a beautiful old church that's been renovated.
There.
Yes, beautiful.
Okay.
Perfect for a television special.
Okay.
And then that night we're also recording my debut album live from the Winery.
Okay, now tell me, who were some of your influences going back? Because if you're country and you're a singer-songwriter, who's in there?
I really love every type of music. I can't say, country's my favorite, but I grew up listening to the Beach Boys, Neil Diamond, Barry Manilow, really the greatest songwriters to me, in the world. And then I just, rock influences. I love classic rock, and I really, there's a little piece of everything in my music, just because I do listen to everything.
Okay, we're actually going to listen to some right now.
For my friends and tell them now we're going out on the town. I'm gonna go find a new boyfriend just so that I can parade around. I'm gonna find the shortest skirt and the highest heel boots and make it known to everybody that I'm out on the loose because I'm over you. Yeah.
All right, okay. Is there any Shania Twain influence in your background?
Yes, Shania Twain is my idol. The minute I got my hands on one of her CDs, it was like just done.
That's it.
What I loved.
Shania has a nice voice, but I think your voice is a little stronger than her. Has a little more range, but you like it's country, it's pop, but it's very funky.
It's everything. It's a little bit of rock, a little bit of pop, and then on the album as well, there's going to be some really beautiful soft ballads. Like I said, I enjoy everything, so there's a mix of everything on there.
Now, you're a solo act, but you have to have a band you can believe in behind you. Who's in there?
I love my band. It took me a while, but I handpicked the best of everybody that I know. I went out to see local bands. Oh, I want that bass player. And I slowly built a powerful 13-piece band of some of the nicest people that I've ever met, and really some of the most talented.
And you were talking about getting your start at 14 singing, but your music started long before that. It was maybe in your genes.
Yes, both my parents are musicians and songwriters. So I grew up, from the time being 2 years old. They have videos of me playing and singing, and I feel so bad for them now looking back, because I used to make them sit there for hours on end every day and listen to me sing and put on like full productions, and of course I dragged my little sister along into that.
So right now, I said you're poised in a breakthrough because you've drawn interest of music labels, and where do you have to get to? Because you were saying that you used to be in a band, but it was so hard to keep the band together, you kind of had to give that up.
Yes. I loved being in a band. Just the camaraderie that you have with a group of people like that, it's different than being a solo artist. But as I was getting older and kind of being more realistic with myself, I realized if I really, really want to do this, I have to just give it everything I got and really only rely on myself at this point and really go back to the music that I love, because a band is good for that rock and pop stuff, but when you're playing country, you need the fiddles, you need that big production. I just couldn't get it doing that.
Now, at the Winery, when they're on Route 6 right there, is that considered Lake Mayapack? I'm trying to think exactly where that area is.
I believe it's Mohegan Lake.
Mohegan Lake, that's what I'm saying. No, I said Mayapack. Forgive me. Now, if we're talking about that, when you set up in there, how big a band do you have space for? Because they're recording you live.
Yes, they are. It's it's a decent sized stage. It's not Madison Square Garden size, but it really is just beautiful. It's really the scenery, because when you're shooting a television special, you need to have that beautiful scenery behind you.
Yeah.
And there's 13 of us, and we have platforms, so people are kind of stacked, and it's
13's
really
quite a few.
Yeah, it's really a nice setup. It took us a while to figure out how to maneuver everybody.
Okay, there it is. It's the Winery St. George right there in Yorktown Heights, right on Route 6. Well, actually, we're going to move down the road, like we said, to Mohegan Lake, and it'll be there. And you can be part of the action, because if you're in the crowd, you could be in the TV special.
Yeah.
Just a hint there. And we want to thank Jessica for coming in. Thanks very much.
you so much.
And we'll leave you with a little music in the background. Jessica Lynn.